and welcome to a special edition of the GB Transfer Show. Of course, today is the, I don't need to say it, you know, it's the last day. And it finishes at different times in Europe, but I thought that before I actually spend the last 3 hours of the transfer deadline day with 5 Live at the BBC in Media City, not far from where I am now. Basically, I'll go through some of the things that you've asked me and some of the things that I've heard. So then you can take it all and do whatever you want with it. Let's start with the things that I've heard, and it may be of interest to you. You must have seen the story of Rakitic to Chelsea. And that is something that has more to do with the club trying to sell him, as the club told De Jong that 2 regulars of Barcelona will be sold this summer. They will like Rakitic to go because they feel that in the past Barcelona have not sold well. When players got to certain stage, to certain legend status, they keep them until they are too old to be sold, and they want to be a little bit more cruel, if you like. Rakitic on his hand is saying, I'm not going anywhere, I'm happy, I am happy. He's 30, he's at the top of the world, really, and he wants to stay at Barcelona. Valverde, on his hand, feels that Barcelona shouldn't be in the business of selling players when they are needed, and he's needed. But there'll be stories coming to the press, like you saw recently, Acoba saying that Chelsea are interested in Rakitic. Well, that comes more from Barcelona trying to get rid of him than anything else. What else? Todibo, of course, has or will be signed for Barcelona, 350,000 euros. Will be the fee. Of course, he finishes his contract at the end of the season. Toulouse, not happy with Barcelona for the way they've done business, but quite clearly Todibo wanted to leave. He's at the end of his contract this season, and he's a 19-year-old that a lot of teams wanted. So he's hardly played about 10 games for Toulouse this season because he's been moved aside because he wouldn't agree to a new contract. So all in all, Barcelona felt better if he comes over and trains with the first team. There's been stories in the Catalan press that he may go with the B side. That's not the case. He will train with the first team and that way adapt, and perhaps if Umtiti doesn't recover, perhaps have even minutes this season. We will see, because of course Murillo has also been signed from Valencia with that idea. So Todibo is somebody that they see, Barcelona see as a replacement to Piqué. He can play with the ball. He's faster even than Piqué, but he's intelligent. A lot to learn, of course, but they feel that he will be the perfect centre-back for Barcelona, and you know how difficult it is to be a centre-back for Barcelona. Something else I wanted to mention, Anta Palaversa, of course, on loan to City until 2020. He's been left at Hadjud Split, midfielder who's the captain of the under-19s Croatia national side, somebody that is very versatile, can play in different positions in midfield. The idea, I think it cost about £7 million. The idea is to leave him on loan this season, but in the summer, or perhaps in January 2020, before his loan deal finishes in the summer of 2020, basically to send him on loan somewhere else, perhaps in a more competitive league. They'll see how it all develops, but it's somebody that they wanted to sign in the summer, but they felt that there were clubs sniffing around, so they thought better get him now. JONNY, of course, he is now a Wolves permanent signing, £20 million, and the idea was to help Atletico Madrid. That was a little miracle by Jorge Mendes with Morata coming in. They had to get rid of 2 players. Gelson Martins has gone on loan to Monaco. Jorge Mendes linked closely to Monaco, also to Wolves. So OTTO has been signed permanently. They could have waited in the summer, but he helps Atletico Madrid. And of course, it guarantees that Wolves have got a fullback that they really, really like. On Nkunku and Arsenal, there's still a lot of difference, financial difference between what Arsenal wants to put as a clause to buy, but no obligation, just a clause to buy. If they want him, they say they will be willing to pay about 20 million euros. PSG says this should be more than that. He, of course, is a number 8, so offensive midfielder, if you like, who should play in front of the holding midfielders, but can play in the wing as well. So it's somebody that has been identified as one of the weaknesses of the side, and of course Emery gave his go-ahead to this loan deal. Nothing else should happen with Arsenal. It would be a massive surprise if it is, with Denis Suarez arriving, and let's see what happens to Nkunku. But Suarez, basically Chelsea, Valencia don't want him anymore. And Batshuayi is fed up with the instructions about his diet and the work that he has to do without the ball from Marcelino, which, you would think he should be listening and learning from that, but never mind. So Chelsea have got an agreement with West Ham and Betis. He doesn't want to go to Betis. It was rumoured that Spurs wanted him. Not true. So West Ham is the only, at the moment, Premier League option. But of course, there is a lot of teams looking for a striker. So we will see. He wants to come to the Premier League next. And let me tell you something which is not really transfer news as such, but I've heard that Rafa Benitez has been approached by a club in China and one in Saudi Arabia, both of them willing to pay 10 million euros net for 2 years. This is a year for 2 years. This was about 2 months ago, and he said no. He had on the table a renewal of his contract for 5 years at Newcastle, which he hasn't signed yet. He should be, with Almiron arriving, a little bit happier. It's taken a while for this to happen, but he would like this to continue, not to be just a one-off, but that Newcastle invests in the squad. He's doing miracles, isn't he, with Newcastle? So well done to Rafa, who I've always known is a very special manager, whose success has to do with how he looks after the details and the intensity of everything he does. Bojan Kirkic is staying at Stoke. He had an offer from West Brom, but he's going to stay. He had an offer from Turkey as well. And I think there was a little bit of interest from Monaco and Bayer Leverkusen. But he's decided to stay because Nathan Jones, the new manager, wants him as a number 10. The club also have asked him to stay. And you're talking about somebody who feels perhaps more wanted than he has done for a long while. And if that's the case, I think you'll get the best Bojan. So that's that. And now let's go for your questions. Anything new about Rabiot? There's nothing new. Barcelona has put the offer to him. He knows what Barcelona are offering. His mother will get 10 million euros as she's his agent. And basically, it's all on the table. But Rabiot and his mother are kind of talking to other teams in Europe, trying to get even more money. Barcelona are not confident that they're going to get him, but they certainly want to. Hordur Augustsson says, please tell me Spurs are signing 1 or 2 players. No, they are third in the table, 2 points from Manchester City. This is a very strong squad, as it is. And of course, I'm sure Pochettino would like to have new players, but right now there's no likelihood of it, including Batshuayi, who is linked, of course, to Spurs, or has been linked in the media by his agent, possibly, but he's not in the list for Spurs. Munir LJ says, does Sarri have a strategy for transfers that goes beyond signing his former players? There's no Sarri transfer policy. It's Chelsea transfer policy. And Jorginho is somebody that City wanted. So it is a very good signing. I don't think it's fair to say that Sarri only signs Napoli players. But there is a new... there will be a new Chelsea in a way, because the Hazard situation will determine where that goes. Real Madrid determined want him to be the superstar of Real Madrid, or one of them, for next season, but they're not committing yet because they just wanted to see Mbappé, Neymar. If they go in that way, they may not have money to go the Eriksen and Hazard way. So we have to wait. A few rumours doing the rounds about Madrid midfielder Fede Valverde possibly going to Leeds on loan. Any truth? No. No truth at all. Fede Valverde is somebody that Solari likes. Perhaps he won't have as many minutes as he has had because everybody's coming back from injury and the big games are starting appearing. But no interest from Leeds about Fede Valverde. There has been no conversations about it. To what extent, that's Louis Thompson is saying, to what extent will Hazard actually improve Real Madrid? He will improve him. He's one of the top players in the world. And of course, you can see now that when Benzema does his thing, he needs all the people around him. It's very hard for Real Madrid to score goals these days, not so much against Espanyol, who scored 4. But they need a goal scorer or somebody that can guarantee 15, 20 goals per season or more, as well as Bale and Benzema. Bale determined to stay, by the way. I wrote on that in my timeline that he may even retire Real Madrid. Maxi Gomez to West Ham. What I hear is that Maxi Gomez, yes, has been put forward for teams, but his bio clause is about 40 million euros, and it feels like he is going to stay at Celta for now. Any news on Steven Bergwijn on a move to Manchester United? None of the sort, nothing at all. That's not what Manchester United are doing right now. If anything, they're not doing anything. I'm not hearing anything, but certainly not Bears win. And I think we'll reach the end. So thank you very much for this month. It's been exciting. I hope you enjoy the conversations I had with some of the important people in transfer windows. And there'll be more things coming in this YouTube channel. So keep an eye on it. Bye-bye.